I've got the oil tank all cleaned. You can see I've plugged all the openings with tin foil. I could have used some cases of silicone plugs, which are very heat resistant, but I thought tin foil will work a little bit better. One thing you need to do when you're powder coating is determine before you put the powder on how you're going to suspend the part in the oven. In this case, since this is a two-sided part, that is, both sides have to be coated equally. There's no gasket surface, for instance, or something like that that you could put flat on the oven grill. You have to figure out a way to suspend it before you get powder on. Once you've got powder on and you're ready to put it in the oven, that is not the time to figure out, now what am I going to do to put it in the oven. So I have already done a test fit in my oven using this setup that you see here with a copper wire, and we're ready now to take it over and spray the powder on. I'll probably show you a few shots of that. That is me applying the powder and sliding it in the oven. But I'm not going to record the entire process. I think I've shown some of that before some time ago in other videos, probably for the YL1 if memory serves. But I'll give you a few little shots of what I'm doing as I progress through the next few phases. Here's our basic setup for powder coating. I just used a folding ladder, and that's a 8-foot folding ladder to support the part. You can see I've got copper wire just suspending it from the cross member on the ladder, so allow me full 360-degree access all the way around the part. You can see over there on the right the ground strap coming from the powder coat unit. That's to ground the unit out so that when I spray the powder, it's attracted to the metal. That's why you have to use metal in this setup to allow for the current to be conducted. Of course, you can see, I think over there to the left, the spray gun ready to go. The oven is off to my left and is preheating to 400 degrees, which is the temperature called for the particular powder that I'm using. I bake it at 400 degrees for approximately 10 minutes, and that'll allow it to flow out and cure. The part has been cleaned thoroughly 3 or 4 times now. It's been flushed out, the insides as well as the outside has been wiped down thoroughly so that there's no fingerprints or contamination. So now I'll go ahead and spray out the powder. So the powder's been sprayed out, oven's up to temperature, so now I'm going to very carefully move the part from the ladder to the oven. This is probably the trickiest part because you don't want to bump that anymore or jostle it around any more than necessary, because the powder is just laying there loosely, and if you get too aggressive or rough with it, you'll end up with powder falling off and creating bare spots. Parts in the oven. Timer's been set. Now we'll just let it do its thing for about 10 minutes or so and see how it turned out. So the timer just expired. It's been a solid 10 minutes. We'll shut the oven off, and then I'm going to let the part cool or normalize on its own in the oven. I'm just going to open the oven door. You can see the part hanging there in the oven. Again, I'm just going to leave it in that condition for, well, as long as it takes to cool down, probably 15-20 minutes before I'll be able to handle it safely, because the finish is still soft, of course, because it's hot. It's about half an hour or so later, and I've clearly removed the tank from the oven, removed the foil, and copper line, piece of copper wire I used to suspend the part in the oven. And you can see there it turned out pretty good. It's not perfect. There's a little contamination, a little orange peel right here. A section of little orange peel. A little bit of contamination on the back side. If you can see that or not, but generally speaking, I'm okay with how it came out. The repair that we made was right in this section right here. That totally disappeared. I think that's perfectly fine for a fuel tank. It's at least equal to the original finish in terms of quality. The only thing I have left to do with the tank now is to sort out some of the pieces that go to the sight glass. This is probably my main concern. This is the glass itself. I've fiddled around with sanding this, see if I can get it to clear up. I really can't. It's yellowed to the point that I don't think I can get rid of it. There's a little fine crack right there. I don't know if you see it. It doesn't leak. I tested it. It does not leak. But the gasket I was worried about right here, that's in very good shape. That goes in here. I think I can easily reuse the gasket. And some of these other components I can clean up, I think, and reuse. I'm not sure about this nut. I think this was almost looks like chrome, but I doubt it. It's probably zinc. So I got to decide what I'm going to do about that nut. This inner piece of rubber is in very good shape. Nothing wrong with that. So these are really the two pieces that I'm most concerned about. The cap isn't bad. I think I can salvage that. If not, you can get these. Not from Yamaha, but you can find new ones on eBay. So I haven't decided on that either. So I got to work out what I'm going to do with the parts here, and then it's just a matter of installing this eventually back on the little Yamaha. But at least the heavy lifting's done, and that is the recoating. I've got that finished. I think that'll be it for this particular video on refinishing the oil tank for the Yamaha. As usual, thanks for watching. It's late October, and it's a very frosty morning, as I think you can see there. You hear a few red-winged blackbirds in the background. Those are birds migrating south. They came from further north. The local birds probably have left a month or more ago already, maybe even 6 weeks ago. See the fire bushes there in the foreground. They're absolutely beautiful. Got down to about 30 degrees Fahrenheit last night. Fairly typical for this time of year.